with anything. They believe we can't do anything. So for me, it's somehow it's depressing. Sometimes, I come on your show, I just press the like, and sometimes I just want to, because sometimes when I listen to some of these things, I get so depressed. It could be very frustrating. There's nothing you can do. You just wait for the next news, wait for the next mishap, wait for the next things to go on, and wait for so many people to, some lives and property to be lost. And you wait for the next government shenanigans. They will come with different kind of news and come. Look at the other day, the president wife, when they said she's doing some garden farming. It was so irritating. I was just saying, man, what's this? I mean, it's very insulting. I mean, you do not regard Nigerians. You
Your
come up
country is
and
facing food crisis,
and
and you are talking about planting ewedu, planting
I
tomato
don't.
at the back of. Come on, man.
So, is that what they're going to use to feed the state house? Then they should give up the budget for the state house and let us use it for something
Do you
else.
know the budget for
You know,
feeding for status for 2024, bro? 4.2 billion. That's how much Tifnubu
imagine.
and Shetima will use in feeding both the asshole rock. 1.5
Put 4.
billion and then a 2.6 billion. Tifnubu will spend
Put
2.6.
4.2 billion in infrastructure in Lagos, you see something. Put 4.2 billion in some local places, you see schools, you see hospitals, you see something happening. They've not provided security for the farmers, So we are facing food crisis because the people that are farming, they couldn't go out there to farm. They've not done their job, and they are pushing it back to the people as if the people are senseless. The people cannot do anything. Try and do some farming. Put the other doing that man is shameless. Was it's so irritating sometimes when you hear these things, and it we go on, and sometimes one just get tired. The issue is that you used to say that none of us is going to come out of this life alive. Yeah,
that's right. That one thing alone,
death,
maybe when people see it that way, that no matter what you do, no matter how much you try to be safe, there's something that is guaranteed. None of us is going to leave this world alive. None of us.
Death is a sure end. You see, when you move around the graveyard, yes, we all have a place somewhere.
Yes.
Either you be in the ground or you be cremated someday. Everybody's going to surely go. Do you understand me? So, but then life has to have a meaning, because if your life does not have a meaning, then you just wasted your existence at the end of the day. Do you understand? Like Socrates used to be, life not examined, it's not a life well lived. Do you understand? At the end of the day. So now, what is the meaning of one's life, one's existence? Just eat, just occupy space, and the end of the day.
I know. You see, when they talk about people dying, and when all of us knows that we're all going to die, then you should stop worrying about dying and worry more about living. There are so many people who are alive today, but they are not alive. They are not living. They are just existing. And Nigeria is turning a lot of people into that category of zombies. Those who are just existing, who are not living.
Because to some extent, we see this concept of death. Sometimes we have to be attuned with it.
Yes.
We have to think of death more, because sometimes when you start thinking of death, that's when you start living at the end of the day. Because right, it's going to be a short end. So why not live something? Live a life. Well, quality life
for something. So even if you have to die, or if you have to fall, at least you will be known to have stood for something, rather than live in fear and just exist and
live
every BS.
Live for 30 years of penuries, live like a subhuman. That is not life.
That's not life.
You live 2 or 3 years of real quality. That is a life well spent at the end of the day. Exactly, at the end of the day. So if you look at the Nigerian space there, somehow you begin to wonder, are people really exist? Are people really living there? They're not living anymore. Just a few greedy folks, just like it has been since 600, 800, when people were enslaved, some of the elite collaborating with those imperialists, enslaving the rest. That is still the same thing happening. The format still did not change. We have just some few politicians enslaving the rest. Exactly. So it still has not changed. Just some few people, some few prominent family, few people that have always been in corridors of power that are just there. The rest people, the rest families, they are just there living in penuries, living suffering, and and they are completely being brainwashed, being lied to. And that's the power of narrative, which one of the things you are trying to do. You're one of those people that are trying to now actually try to actually how will I put it now? You're trying to now, is it change the narrative or try to even question some narrative? Because while growing up, we are fed with some narratives. Do you understand me? Because I used to say the mind is a very potent aspect of every human. And it could be a very dangerous aspect because it depends on the kind of narrative that is fed to the mind at the end of the day. Because from those narrative, you will form your paradigm. From those paradigm, then that's the way you see life. And the way you see life is the way you're going to approach life. And that's the way you're going to act. We see life from different perspectives. No two persons have the same reality. We have different realities because the way we see life. Do you understand me?
Right.
So at the end of the day, some narrative has to be questioned again because sometimes we've been fed with some faulty narrative filled with flaws, especially some religious narrative. At the end of the day, we need to question it. At the end of the day, because some of those things we just accepted and we didn't actually question it.
Mark, the problem there is that we come from a place where people consider asking questions as indirect condemnation. So therefore, when you ask questions, sometimes they will ask, "Why are you asking?" And you be like, "I just want to know." You don't have to know everything. Leave it alone. Or are you trying to condemn it? I'm not condemning it. I want to know. So we come from a place where asking questions is considered as being out of bound. But we need to stop it, like you said, right? Some people thought it was ideal not to question some people back then, right?
No.
That concept is no longer applicable anymore. People are making decisions or taking decisions that are affecting millions of lives, and they don't want to be questioned. No.
Because many of those narratives were laced with fears, false fears. If you act like this is good, this will be consequences. Those are lies, and that's what some of those religious leaders have been, have been living on. They will just put some unnecessary pronouncement, and they believe people don't accept it. If you don't accept it, oh, are you questioning the man of God? I mean, that's bullshit at the end of the day. Because let me tell you, see, we live in the human realm. God has given us, control your realm. You just have to step into the realm, to come and start playing some partial game with you. Okay, I will support this one. No, that's not good for you. My guy, you work hard, put in the work, do that, you get results. Think of something creative, you get results. For God's sake, why did he give you the brain? Do you understand me? Why did he give you all those things if he has to do it for himself, for you? Humans, we have so much powers endowed. So, but some people have refused not to use it. Some people have become lazy. You see, look, going around seeking a miracle things with just something, you are lazy. You're a criminal. That's what you are. Because you just think you just want things just to happen, and the other person will work hard, and the person will not get the same results. You will be favored. Man, that's criminal. At the end of the day, this is a criminal-minded person. So you going on, you're moving around from, you go to church, you do this one, you do not work out to get results, and you think that, okay, you just sit down and think, sorry, God is not going to answer that kind of prayer. That for me, religion is personal at the end of the day. But if I have to now, because I've accepted it, I believe God is not partial, it's very logical. Do you understand me? You say, no, sorry, my friend. You can waste your time, you can waste your economic time and not do the right thing. Sorry, you're going to still have a very bad result where you are.
It's not going to come and favor you that way.
No. It's not going to do that. No, that's not how it works. So we know when if he's going to do his own thing, he's going to do his own thing. But what you're supposed to do as a human being, he's not going to do it for you. You understand me? At the end of the day, so waste your time enough. So, but that is that. So that's why that's the power of narrative. Narratives are very important because the people have been using narrative for years. Even people in the Western world, they try to capture the narrative. That's why I see most big platforms all over the world, they try to own it. Is it the Twitter space, CNN, BBC? Those are places where you push narrative. And narrative are what you use to program human beings, mass programming.
Public mindset about anything.
Opinions.
You are right.
Yes. So, like your platform now, you're trying to now, question narrative. Now we're trying to put the narrative into finance. Try to now, try to question the narrative and really see what's the logic behind this. How true is this? Is this a real fact, or people are just trying to do some sort of fear mongering? Using some false premises, to push some business narrative. So we have to own our own narrative, and we have to question narrative at the end of the day, because it's from narrative that we are going to form our perspective. And that is what we're trying to do here. And that's why people here in this platform, part of it you have to do, if you click like, you've already started doing the fight, because this will go on to many people will see it, and that will also now make them to have a rethink. You are pushing a narrative. You are trying to now make people, be self-conscious, to be able to put in some narrative, so that these political leaders, combining with other thieves, religious thieves, they cannot just come and sell you any kind of narrative,
And then they
because
expect you to
at the end
just
of the
take
day,
it
trying to do some,
financing.
yeah, they do some ethnic and religious bigotry engineering at the end of the day. They want people to be fighting and say based on for goodness sake. Look, I come from Delta, but I was born in Lagos. I knew Lagos all my life.
Yeah.
I knew people down there. Do you understand me? It's more like a home to me. I have more nostalgic feeling when I'm in Lagos. But in Delta, most times I just feel like this is a strange place at the end of the day. Do you understand me? But now some people will now come and start separating you. You are this one. You come from this
I
place.
want you to go back
You
to
know.
that Delta. Not because you have not been going back to Delta, but they are saying it in a way as if to say you are a stranger in a place you were born.
I'm more of a
And
negotiant.
all of this is
I'm more of a
political.
negotiant more
And
than you.
see, that is where I actually want people to pay serious attention. And I'm so happy that somebody like yourself could see through all of that. That these narratives that they are forcing on people, right, is so political, right? That as dangerous as it is, so it is so political that when you meet the people you actually grew up with, you'll be questioning yourself. This wasn't the narrative of us growing up.
Yeah, so look, so that's why I said sometimes, when some people come, it is not all the Yorubas. Oh, it's just a clique of very minute clique of gangs that come there, because that is where I grew up.
Like us are not
In
talking,
fact,
right? Mark, people
really,
like us keep short, okay? You see now that a lot of people who now know that these Ronukus are pure minority trying to force this false narrative on the rest of us and all of that. If people like us have not been speaking up, there are people who are already accepting that, saying, those are Yorubas, that's what they do. But somebody like yourself grew up in Yoruba land, and you'll be there and be like, no,
no,
was I lied to? This wasn't the Yoruba
that
land I
was
grew up in. And they say, no, it
no.
is. That's how they do. No, that's not how they do. But for the fact that we're able to put in and continue to change the narrative this way, it's a great work, honestly. And I'm glad that there are so many people like yourself who are doing the same, because you can see through it,
It is. Yeah, it is at the end of the day. But at the end, what is going to happen is that these oppressors will never remove their knees from the neck of the people. If the people do not fight back, it's not going to happen. Imagine what happened in Kenya. Do you ever believe that the government will be making such kind of drastic decisions, making some, doing some things that you will never ever imagine? Because the people have to twist the hand of the government. They have to tell them, we are the boss. You're not. But right now, the Nigerians are still just them until people are ready to. That's why I said the price is.
You are not too optimistic about that, right? But somehow,
yeah.
like from where you started, okay, that how are you not so depressed or tired about doing this whole thing every day and for years now? The reason is that there is still some ray of light, okay, in this dark cloud. All right. We may not know when it's going to happen, sooner or later, but it is always there. Kenyans today that we are using as role models, as an example today, this too is almost impossible. To an average Kenyans, they are still watching in disbelief. Really? Is this Kenya? Is this actually happening in Kenya? This is so impossible. They are as divided as Nigeria. That's why I said there are some bits of ray of hope here and there that people should not completely write them off. It's going to happen. Mark.
My brother, before I close, it's the one of the main determinants of anything in life is fear.
I know.
We all live with our fears, but it depends on the degrees of fears you have. That will determine the kind of actions you will take. I can still see a lot of fear in the land. Do you understand me?
Yeah.
So people are so much scared, they don't want to take any risk until they are motivated by whether by the hardship or whatever, and they begin to lose those fear. Until then, I think we just keep waiting.
Keep waiting. I know. Honestly, I mean, the fact that we keep reminding them that nobody is coming from the diaspora except those who volunteer to go themselves. But if you are in Nigeria and hoping that the diasporans are going to come around for this, you're not ready. So we'll kind of talk to those who are. Mark, thank you so much.
Thank you. So, but guys, you guys click like, it's part of the revolution. Just click like.
Bless you, sir.
All right.
Mark, you have a good one, okay? And send me word to our people in Manchester, Papa.
Yeah.
You have a good one, okay? Nice one. That's how we're going to draw the curtains tonight. My time is up. I know we might need to start early enough, though, but I am going to see you tomorrow, okay? And if you join me in the afternoon, whatever you can say this evening, you can come around and say that tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your evening, okay? And good night from here.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1.
Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú.
Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1.
Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube.
Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí.
Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1.
Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí.
Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1.
Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1.
Mayegun Diary politico.
Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1.
Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun.
Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1.
Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o.
Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1.
Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Lórí YouTube.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Prẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Kí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Ọlọ́pàá tí ń gba rìbá.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kí. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kí. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. oníkanṣá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o àyè.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kí. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kí. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
ha kì máa yí ṣeré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣẹ̀fẹ̀. kì máa yí ṣeré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣẹ̀fẹ̀. ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣà ìtú wọn síta.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kí. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kí. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
tẹnitẹni ọmọ Máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún sọ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù. lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. èèpo ọ̀bọ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti dọba lórí abínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ fòyà. àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán wò á kàmù. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì o. ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kí. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kí. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n